Well, there we go. Now I'm live. All right. So first of all, HAMTAG follow-up. I don't know what a HAMTAG Lite follow-up is what I'll call this. So this is my second broadcast on StreamYard. I'm now paying for the version, so I'm going to be able to trick some stuff out here, hopefully. I got to get with no enemies here and find out how to do all this. I don't know. So there may be a few rough spots as I learn. The other thing I need is how to bring in comments as they come in. That should allow me to see that, and we'll play around. So what I'm going to do here, there's going to be three things. I'm going to read viewers' top 5 comments for their top 5 most expensive collections or sets, war games. I'll then do a little sneak of another HAMTAG Lite that Judd and I have coming out soon. And then we'll talk about some games that have arrived and, I don't know, maybe a few more things. We'll see how the time goes. I'm going to try to keep this, I don't know, hopefully around 30 minutes. This is simply water in this nice whiskey glass. That's to keep the vocal cords working properly. As people come in, like Robert Moffat, I will shout out your name as possible, but I'm also going to churn along with some of the top 5s that the fans had. So as I just closed it down, let me start with Greg from HAMTAG. So he came into the comments on YouTube. You can go there and look at them as well. Again, this is for our top 5 most expensive sets. And Greg had some great comments opening up in his personal comment about collecting sets. But that being said, he then lists in descending order the engulfed series, Europe engulfed and Asia engulfed. I'm not going to read his entire comment. Please do go to the comments if you want to follow up. His number 4 was the Napoleonic card-driven series. Let's see. He's got tons of comments or content right after the title of each one. Great Campaigns of the American Civil War is his number 3. Him talking about it in prior HAMTAG episodes, the Civil War episode, I believe, is what got me interested in the first place. So, and then his number 2 is the Operational Combat Series. Let's see. And number 1, he says, obviously, that is going to be the Ticket to Ride series. Okay, that's not true. It is ASL, or known as Advanced Squad Leader. So let's see. We've got 4 people watching. I should say there'll be a shout out here. I also have these set up that they will roll over to my normal Bonding with Board Games feed, so people can tune in and watch it later. And maybe I'll even get some set times that'll do these. Who knows? I've got kids upstairs. We'll see how this goes. Hey, the original Grognard is in. Thanks for the thumbs up, brother. So that is Greg's list. Again, you can go look at the comments on your own, but what I really want to encourage is folks putting their top 5s in the comments as Judd and I continue to do these HAMTAG Lite shows. I actually get a lot of pleasure from going in and looking at people's different lists and why they put their games on there. Let's see, a lot of folks saying more HAMTAG. They like the fact that we're back. They miss Greg, but they love even the Lite, Lite format. Let me see if I can get to another one that's got a list. Let's see. John Correll Jr. Doesn't want to put him in a particular order, but he has on Command and Colors Ancients, along with Napoleon, or the Napoleonics parts of that, and the Tricorn under what I call the Borg. He just wants to play more of it. Let's see. And he just bought the Combat Commander system. Awesome. I'm going to even talk about that a little bit in a second here. Let's see. What else do we have? Let me open up Erwin Lau. So we missed Greg as well. His top 5, he says most expensive, but then he lists 9. A little sneaky, Lau. Number 1 is ASL, 2 is OCS, 3 is the Coin Series, 4 is GTS. I think I know what great, 5 is I'm going to mess this one up. Battelle, Bataille. My apologies. And then 6, I'll give him all 9 of his. Combat Commander. Commands and Colors, Napoleonics. And then he's got GOSS. I'm sorry, I don't know that acronym. And then Library of Napoleonic and BAR, which when I first read that, I don't know what that's for either. I think of Browning automatic rifle. Let's see, who else is in here? Moffat's got Combat Commander Pacific is on a must-buy list. Yeah, and GMT just put it back in stock. Chrono 77, Pub Battles collection would be expensive. It is, those tubes, and I like them, but they are way overpriced. I think they spend way too much money on their little canvas maps. The whole idea that they roll up and, but okay. I may or may not have made them mad. I reviewed, I can't remember which one, and I don't think they were thrilled. There was some issues I had with kind of the map in general. It wasn't bad, though. I like their series, but that's fine. They don't have to send me anything. Let's see. I'll try to keep an eye on your comments as we go. Let me know if volume and picture's fine. I'm still playing around. I look a little bit washed out on my screen, but it could be my settings on my own screen here. Let's see. Let's find another good comment. Well, we'll go with Mr. Never Been to Europe. Great name until you do go to Europe, and then you have to change it. He likes this new HAMTAG Lite setup, and he would say he's just going to call out Conflict of Heroes. C, little O, and a big H is his number 1 with the LNL lock and load. Boy, I better get good on all these abbreviations. Tactical system is his number 2. So there you go. He makes up. Let's see. Russ Sandbag says, looks great. Picture and volume are good. Thanks, Robert. And good. We'll keep working through. Again, I'm going to shout out as many comments as I can get to, and then I'm even going to pop over to Board Game Geek, which I have on a sub-screen here, and we'll read off some of those too, because I want to definitely give shout outs to those that comment on YouTube, and then but we'll look at BGG as well. Let's see. I'm trying to get some. We got a lot of just positive comments, but I really want to look for just the highlights. Yeah, let's go with the Great Monkey King. Great name, by the way. Great Monkey is what I like to call him. He comments a lot. Let's see. The Great Campaigns Civil War, he says, is amazing. He is going to pull the trigger on the Conflict of Heroes Storms of Steel 3rd edition. I think he was a little hesitant on that with the change to the system. They added that little die that handles your activations. Let's see, what else? White Star Rising, the new edition, Battle Cry. Let's see. Oh, I think he says he never cared for it, but his wife really enjoys it. And she hates board games, and they get to play that together, so that's definitely on his list. Let's see. Russ says, you need an acronym cheat sheet. Oh, boy, do I, Robert. And Russ says, do you have a recommendation for an 18XX game? You know what? I went to try to play one, and they're not my cup of tea. In my board game group, which I haven't been to in years, I used to go all the time. And we mostly played a lot of mix of Euros and Ameritrash, but that's where I met Judd for the first time. Greg was in there teaching automobile, and occasionally war games would hit the table as well. There was a guy that always wanted to play 18XX. Nobody was into it in our group, so I don't have a recommendation for you at all. About the only train games I get into, definitely, well, very light Ticket to Ride, which was my intro back into gaming. And then, and I'm going to forget because Steel Driver, Martin Wallace's game. Gosh, I played that once, thought I was going to hate it because I'm usually not into the track and the stock. I loved it. And I was able to search it out. I hated that they changed the cover because they used to have, oh my gosh, I'll forget. It was the old folk song with, what was it, Bill Henry? Someone on here will know. And so they had like him, an African-American guy on the cover. And I guess people were offended, so they switched it to some bald white guy. I was like, okay, but whatever they want to do, their thing. Let's see, Chronos. For the near future, the Enemy Action Series from Compass is at one game, number one game. Oh, is at one for him. But we'll soon have more, $150 each. Love the game, though. Compass, not so much. I'm just getting into Compass, and I'm going to talk. They're Gregory Smith I talked to recently, and I'm going to pull a game over here in a later segment that just came in. So we'll talk about that. Let's see. Let's do a couple more of these. ERMJ 1986. Most expensive series is the Gamers MMP Operational Combat Series. I have not seen that. He's, quote, I have all of the games and the second prints. Wow. He's all in. And then there's a bunch of follow-ups under this. Judd wants to know if he has case blue, question mark. If so, much respect. He's got like his little bowing thing going on here, I think. Let's see. And then 1986 says he pre-ordered case blue, so he got it for about 120 to 140. And then Judd followed up with respect, baby. He didn't add the baby. I threw that in there. Let's see. Chronos thumbs up. Let's see. Twilight Imperium 4th edition games are all quite the price tag. They are. And I have the 3rd edition. I know 4th is out there and people love it, but I don't think I'll be going to that one. Let's see. Ooh, I'm going to give Captain Roboto a little shout out simply because in his comment, he was sitting down with a glass of scotch and watching a new HAMTAG. Woo, and he liked that. So for those that don't know, the background is actually my scotch show set. I have a co-host, usually Scott, that sits next to me for that, almost always. He's way more no, he's equally knowledgeable to me. But go check out the Scotch Test Dummies if you want to see some fun there. Let's see, Ardwolf Slayer. Chief, good to have you in, brother. Good to have you in. Let's see, SGJ Jamie says, clever topic. You know, I wasn't sure how it was going to be received, the whole expensive set thing. He says, clever topic. You guys always make these games sound fun. Well, they are, sir. They very much are. Funny, I don't have much that can be grouped together as a set, except what he calls the, quote, Dark Series with Valley and Sands and the Academy Games 1775 and 1812. That's the Birth of America series. So those are great. Let's see. Beat Cafe says, hey, everyone. Robert HAMTAG Lite got a good shout out on Rob Orn's live stream this morning. Well, that is cool. I probably need to check and make sure I'm not stepping on other people's live streams as well. I love Rob. Rob's great. So that's cool. I know when we do the Scotch live shows, we always check. I don't watch a lot of other YouTube shows, so hopefully I'm not offending anybody by going live when I did. Let's see. Come on. I want to shout out a couple more people on here. Oh, I'm going to say his name wrong, but Jawo. Sorry, he's got a little, it's like an Inya, but it's over the A. Carlos. Ooh, let's just call him Carlos because I'll butcher your name. My wife's Puerto Rican. She could tell me how, but she's not here. Fantastic collection, guys. Awesome. Oh, I think he has his. Oh, he's got suggestions. He wonders if we would do our top 5 magazine board games. I love that idea. I'm just recently with C3I kind of getting into that. Otherwise, other than way back with the General, and that wasn't really games inside the General, it was errata and expansions and whatnot. But I love the General, but I'm recently, because of C3I, getting into some of these games. Come on, I had a bunch, but they're not all listed. I'm going to go to folks that list them in order. There we go. The Z Jensen. His number 1 is OCS, 2 ASL, 3 Coin. I'm hitting more. 4 Combat Commander, 5 No Retreat, the Simonich Year Games. And he says he pretty much only buys games in a series now because he's getting older and it's the learning curve. I will admit, I like to group that as well. I've got Waterloo, Mark Herman's game from C3I over there, and it's based on that Gettysburg system with a few little tweaks, and I've got it on the table. I've been playing it. I'm a slow game player, guys, and I got a rush of different games into review. So what I try to do is get an unboxing out there so the folks that sent me the games know I got them, and then I just simply try to play them as they come in. And sometimes something will jump to the front, and I'll end up playing that. Academy Games sent me the Agents of Mayhem, and the grandson loves the look of that. So that one might get jumped up to the front soon. Great idea on the magazine games. Yeah, I thought that was good too. I thought that was a real good idea, and I added it into my working list. I was going to mention it later, but I'll throw it in now. Judd and I have already scheduled another date to come film some more, and I've got one I've got to edit. So hopefully we'll get these shows coming out on a regular basis. Phil Hatfield, his top 5 expensive collections in descending order. I love that. 5 ASL, the starter kits. And his main battle tanker Tide. Okay. Number 4 is Blocks in Ellipsis series, East, West, Africa. So blocks in the East, the West, Africa. That was $270. Cry Havoc series by Standard Games is at $280 for them. I did not include the price tag on mine. Obviously, Judd did. And I kind of liked it when he was doing it. Although I would do what it's valued at now. And then number 2 for Phil is Great Campaigns of the American Civil War series, $525. And his number 1, and I'm sure Judd loved this, was Starfleet Battles by Task Force Games in the 80s and ADB. I don't know that one. Later years at approximately $1,773, not adjusted for inflation. Wow. Let's see what we got here. Robert says, I took Greg's idea and am now trying to buy more different games as opposed to sticking with just following a series. I'm all over the place just to the nature of doing reviews. Kronos, he's talking to Robert, seem to have a lot of tactical games. He has too many. I love tactical games. That's my sweet spot. Sweet spot. A lot of people jumping in with comments on Samurai Battles and how it's supposed to be coming out soon from GMT. I, too, am looking forward to that. Let's see. Let's do a couple more lists on here. Again, if you want to get called or shouted out on the list, the easiest way for me to do it will be to just number them and do them in descending order. Some people have them into paragraph format, but first time doing this, I can tell already it's way easier for me if I'm going to read them directly off. Let's see. That is it. So there was, like I said, there was a few more in paragraph format, but I didn't get to those. Let me go to, all right, I'm on BGG. I know everybody here knows Board Game Geek, but for anybody that might be tuning in that doesn't, it's boardgamegeek.com, and boy, howdy, do they have everything gaming. Wargaming, Eurogaming, Ameritrash, video games, even in another site. So there's so much there. If you've never seen it, check it out. Moss01, MAS01 says ASL. He owns all the core modules, everything official except the Bridge Too Far and Blood Reef Tarawa. Also, he owns a ton of third-party produced material, and he thinks the total price is probably in the order of $2,000. Hello. Wow. And then he lists Command and Colors Ancients. He has the full set, everything included in it, $450. And he managed to pick up Tokyo Express Carrier, $250. I told him that is a nice set. Great descending list from Eric M. Walters. ASL, he's got a whole reason why on there. And then he goes to, again, this La, and I'm going to butcher the French, La Battelle, gosh, by GDW. I know I'm butchering that. Just mock me in the comments. Lace Wars, Death Ride Kursk. Wow, sounds brutal, as Kursk was. The Europa series. And he's going to stop there, but he says he could go into the Library of Napoleonic Wars, Battles of the Age of Reason, Great Battles of History, plus, and more. Let's see. Let's get into a few more here. Dietemann. He loves having us back, and his Memoir 44 and Tide of Iron series are both complete, except he is missing one paper expansion for Memoir. Let's see. His Battle Cry is one of his most played games, and he has the original and the anniversary edition. By the way, when I'm reading these, I'm off the screen. Let me pop back over and just see if there's any comments going on. Oh boy, hold on. There we go. Make sure I'm not missing anything here. 20K. I don't know what that is. What is that? Okay. See, I can't see all these comments. Oh, Federation Commander. Gotcha. Well, what's the light version? Okay, good. And awesome, guys. I know even when we do the Scott show, there's a lot of comments amongst yourselves. Wonderful. And I will follow along as best I can. Let's see. Why is ASL so expensive? I'd love to give it a try, but it's super pricey. Well, it's mostly all out of print. MMP is reprinting them coming out, but it's very infrequent. And when they do come out, they go out of stock really quick as well. I had a bunch of the original stuff, and I'd even started to get some things coming in, and then I just wasn't ever playing it. I thought, I'm never going to play this. Let's not just keep it on the shelf. Lots of paper. Yeah, MMP needs to put out the rule book, needs to be reprinted again as well. Let's see. Let's go back over to BGG. Let me read a couple more comments here. We've got Bimmer for me, the numeral 4. Bimmer for me. He's got his number 4 is Mark Simonich's Zone of Control, his Zoc Bond series. He lists France 40, Ukraine 43, Holland 44, Normandy 44, Ardennes 44, Stalingrad 42, with the treatment of various battles on the Italian peninsula being developed. 3 is the ASL, both regular starter kits, expansion packs. 2 is the Great Campaigns of the American Civil War. He has 11 volumes so far. Boy, that means he's got the old Avalon Hill stuff. It looks wonderful to me, and as I said, I'm going to keep buying them. I kind of tell myself that'll be for retirement. Boy, that's terrible. But I'm not too far away from retirement. Let's see, Blockhead, Memoir 44. Huge with him. Great War at Sea series. Great War at Sea series. He really likes the system and bought nearly all of it. And he has played almost all of them. Well done. Let's see. That catches me up on those comments. Let me back up one here, because one thing that I noticed as well on BGG, so Judd has a big following on BGG, and he went over to the Wargaming subdomain, and gave a little plug to, hey, go thumb up the videos so that it hits higher, so it gets basically on the hot list for videos. And what that does really for me and for the show is there's a lot of folks that maybe played these a long time ago, and they'll see that HAMTAG go up high on the list or number 1 on the list. And then they watch, and in my opinion, and from the comments I've read, it spurs people to take a look again, or maybe to get into or to stay into, I think that covers everybody, the wargaming scene. There we go. HAMTAG Lite. And a lot of people on this thread listed their top 5s, and they did them in a real good order. So let's go with Boris Gregg's. 5 was Main Battle Tank / Panzer. 4 was DVG Air Leader series. I find those fun as well. I just don't play them as much lately. 3 was the Great Battles of History. 2 was the Coin series. Those continue to go on. That Gandhi one kind of had my interest. But I haven't been playing coin much either. And number 1 was Memoir 44. I'm going to do a few more, and then I'll pop back and take a look at the StreamYard comments, which I cannot see right now. Wendell says number 1, World in Flames. Number 2 is maybe coin. Maybe. Number 3, not sure. I don't buy mini games in a series. So there you go. I guess World in Flames would be his deal. Mark Sockwell, most expensive collection, ? That's a piece of cake. And then he has 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 ASL, Advanced Squad Leader, ASL. Let's see. Eddie Meister, Starfleet Battles can get expensive. We've got Zach Jensen has 1 is OCS, 2 is ASL, 3 is coin, 4 is Combat Commander, 5 is No Retreat, Semenich, Year Games. And he says, I'll pretty much only buy games in a series now. Keeps the learning manageable. That might have been one I referenced earlier. Sorry if it is. Andrew has Combat Commanders, number 1, Memoir 44, 2, Commands and Colors, 3, DVG Air Leader, 4, and coin is 5. He also says he guesses if it's not, then he edits, not coin, Lock and Load Tactical. So he thought about it, went back and edited it. Chuck Dye is 5, coin series. Tactical Combat Series is 4, East Fronts 3, 2 is Grand Tactical Series, and Chuck says ASL is number 1. I'm going to continue on because these guys have lined them out in order. Bobby Ramsey, 1 is ASL, 2 is Arkham Horror, 2nd edition. All right. 3 is War of the Ring, 2nd edition there, Bobby, 2nd edition. I guess not. 4 is coin, 5 is OCS. Brent Gaddy, Commands and Colors, number 1, Ancients. 2 is Combat Commander, a lot of Combat Commander going around. Glad that's all back in stock at GMT. 3, Great Battles of History. 4 is just the ASL starter kits. 5, Conflict of Heroes. Good call there, brother. Love it. Let's see. Couple more. I'm going to literally do 2 more. Then we'll pop over to comments and maybe come back. Let's see. DM Laura. Number 1, Advanced Squad Leader, MMP, highlighted. 2, Operational Combat Series, MMP. Again, this La Bachiel. Gosh. COA. 4 is Panzer. 5, Next War Series. Very nice. All right. We're going to do 1 more, and then we'll go back here. Michael Schneider. If he counts his pre-orders as well, then it's Conflict of Heroes. He has everything but Guadalcanal. Get the Guadal, baby. Get the Guadal. 2 is Battletech, a big box full of books, maps, and minis. Sounds fun. 3, Enemy Action, Ardennes, and Kharkov. I'm saying it wrong. 4 is Wing Leader, everything. 5 is Tiger Leader, everything. / Panzer, everything. If I get Drive to the Rhine as well, I have to do the calculations to be sure. There's some child noise upstairs. I'm popping back to StreamYard. Let's see what we got. Let me take a sip. What's my time? I'm almost at 30 minutes. Let's see. Again, if anybody in here has theirs, by all means, list them. Matt Chestnut says mine would be coin. Russ Sandbags, 40K is crazy pricey. Wow, I need to go back up and look at that. Gaming with Garavagilia. Sorry. Damn, I'm late. Guess all after the fact. Okay, sorry, Chief. Kabuki Kid is in. What's up, brother? He was just talking about me or the show, HAMTAG. And this must be fate. Yes, sir, it is. Good to have you on, Kabuki. I like saying that, Kabuki Kid. That is good. All right, let me pause on the list for a second because I want to try to keep it pretty tight. I will give a sneak there. I've got to go edit. But Judd and I filmed 2. We sat down and filmed 2 HAMTAG lights together. And the next one, which should come out in a week, maybe 2, depending on how the real life and the real job and everything goes, is most anticipated. And I left that open to see where we would go. And Judd and I went in slightly separate directions on the most anticipated for. So look for that. Let's see. We've also set a date to film more HAMTAGs so that hopefully I can keep them in the cycle a little more regularly. I'm going to talk some game arrivals. And then before we leave, or before I even go to that, though, I had some brand new. Let's see if I can bring it up. See if I can get in here. I bet you it's going to take me too long, and I should have wrote them down. I won't do that now since I'm running out of time. I had a brand new Patreon supporter come in. My goodness, I'm forgetting his name. And a shout out to all those other Patreon supporters I have. I always, when I get new ones, I throw their name in the title at the end. Yeah, I'm not going to get this. Too many new emails coming in. Let me talk about one thing that just came in. Interceptor Ace. See if I can get that up there. Now, this was interesting because I'd reached out to Greg Smith. All right. And designer, he's done a ton of games, but I've never played any of them. And I will admit that when I had Judd over and we did the brand new France 1944 that Compass did, they had a little fold out catalog paper in there. This caught my interest, but his America, German spelling bomber, and it's like B-17 Queen of the Skies, but in reverse. It's this alternate history game where there's German bombers flying over the United States. And it looks like it's set up just like B-17 Queen of the Skies, but it's mirror alternate version. And I was like, oh my gosh, I got to try to get that. So I reached out to Greg. Now, Greg, let me know, Compass Games does not do review copies. Fine, no problem at all. I've got so many coming in, I thought I might get it. I don't know, we'll see. I told him I was interested in his Interceptor Ace as well. And we started chatting back and forth. All of a sudden he said, you know what? Let me send you something. And boom, Interceptor Ace showed up in the mail. And I don't know if America Bomber will as well. We'll see. Who knows? And he told me in a note, it's his own. He has like a couple designer copies. So he just sent me one of those. Very generous. So shout out to Greg Smith. He's doing some awesome things. I mean, the Hunter series that he's got out, everything going on. This thing just looks, I know I got glare. It looks phenomenal. So I'm going to do an unboxing of this. There's no shrink on it, but it's unpunched. I'm going to give him an unboxing, and I want to get that played. But there's a lot I want to get played. And a big shout out to GMT and Chad and Kai Jensen. So GMT sent me, I did not have the Pacific version. I've got to do an unboxing of this as well. I'm really digging what GMT did. They said, you know what? They knew Chad and he'd come down with cancer. They committed to putting all of his his Combat Commander series games back in print. And he passed, but they've got them and the modules in print. I'd gone out and purchased several modules that I could get a hold of. But they sent me these new modules as well that they just reprinted. I know they're not new. They're new to me. And so I'm going to get these reviewed, played, Stalingrad, and the paratroopers. So, but a big shout out getting those in print. They've committed to keep them in print as well. I don't think they say specifically, but you know, if they're in print, that's going to help Kai a lot as well as she deals with a tough time. So I really, really was thrilled to see those are back in print and available from GMT. I think that's it. I'm at 34 minutes. Let me take a look at the comments, and then we will wrap up, and I will close this down. Let me pop back up and see what's going on. And sometimes it's hard to follow because new ones come in. They'll jump around on me here. But let's see. Itinerant Hobbyist, glad to be here. He's late as well. Hey, glad to have you on board. I'm going to try to make these more regular where they will follow the HAMTAG series so I can call out the cool comments. And I may just write them down so it's a little faster, a little more organized. Again, I'm kind of using this new StreamYard format and playing around with it. So I'll get it refined. Let's see. Robert Moffat, France, 1944 is sold out. A miniature market. I'm no doubt sure thanks to the developer opening, unboxing. When Judd was here, he shot a little playthrough of it too. I've got to get that edited. That is going to be a lot harder to edit. He had a lot of little cuts and breaks. That'll take me some time. But it's really cool to hear his perspective. And I'm glad that sold out. What I'm hoping is what I heard was that Compass Games got stung. My understanding is they basically said everybody with a cell phone camera and an internet connection can be a reviewer, and so they weren't sending them out. And I said, okay, I get your perspective. I told them I've been around for multiple years, but no obligation. Quite honestly, I didn't even know much about them, and I think it's just because maybe they're not out there as much. But again, designer Greg Smith, above and beyond, sending me one of his designer copies. Let's see. Kabuki Kid, thanks for the stream. Indeed. Well, thank you. And thank you. I'm seeing the thumbs and Robert and everybody coming in. And hey, there's Carlos. I don't know. Can you give me a phonetic spelling of your first part of your name? I want to say like Jow, but Carlos. I'm sure I'm butchering it. I apologize. I need to ask my wife. Are you from Brazil? She speaks Portuguese as well, so maybe she can help me. You've been commenting a lot. Thank you. Kabuki Kid, this is one well-stocked bar. Oh, yes, it is, brother. Yes, it is. And my co-host has even better one. That has been a fun adventure. Scotch Malt Whiskey Society is fabulous. Those are the expensive ones right over there. Let's see. Kabuki Kid, yeah, they just need to be wise about who to send review copies to. Not send out zero, but that not to send out zero. That seems unwise. I would agree. Again, I guess the owner got burned and gave out review copies early on, and then there were never any shows made with those. Now, here's the deal. I had a company early, heck, it's like 4 years ago. I almost still feel bad for it. They sent me a couple games. One in particular I was really interested with. I knew there were some issues with it, but I love the theme. And boy, if the rule book just didn't stymie, it stymied me. And, I struggled to learn how to play it. And I will tell you that a lot of times that's my fault. Should the rules be a little clearer? I think they should. But I also, if I can't learn something, how much of that's me? Probably most. So I ended up not reviewing those two games that were sent to me. I never promised to do a review, so that can give pause to some folks. I review almost everything that's sent to me. So I would say 97.8%. But sometimes that'll make them nervous because I will not guarantee them. I've had folks say, hey, will you review this within a week? No, it'll take me longer than that to learn how to read it. Learn how to read it. There's an idiot. To learn how to play it. And I generally kind of have a conveyor belt of games going along. And sometimes I'll jump out of order. So I never give deadlines or reads. I will get to them. And I'll be honest with you, we're at a level, it's the same thing with whiskey. The quality from both printing of games and gameplay and rule books, I don't really get terrible trash games. There's some games I don't like, but that's usually because it's just not my style. It's not like they're junk. Same with whiskey. Nobody's putting out, well, there's probably some rock gut out there, but bad glare. Board games come at a high quality printing and the whole process. Everything's gotten extremely professional. due to our modern times. And the Chinese printing is just top notch. So, all right, let's see. I'm going to go ahead and shut us down. I will return with these, and I will continue to bring in the viewers' lists when they provide them. I won't promise everybody's list gets shouted out. Sometimes I'll miss them, and I will work on getting it streamlined so it comes across a little clearer. So look for more HAMTAG in the future. I do have a few unboxings coming out. Some people love those, some hate them. Do me a favor, if you hate them, don't watch them. I like to put out an unboxing because when I go look at a game, sometimes I just want to see the components, and I won't go watch reviews unless I think the components are kind of interesting. So that's why I do them. All right. See you guys. I am going to end the broadcast now. It's a pleasure. Thanks for coming on. Bye. I got to hit a button twice.